Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. What a time to be alive. Let me check my settings. Flying it solo here today. Just want to make sure we got everything all lined up. All right. My name's Tom Grisafi. Welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. Hoping about 500 people join here tonight. No Dan Bongino, but we'll see what we have here. Dan Bongino went live this afternoon. 250,000 people joined him. Media's changed. That was on Rumble. Do you belong or click to Rumble? I didn't even know what Rumble was 6 months ago. So I did watch him on Rumble. Now, why does Dan Bongino matter? Well, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. Dan Bongino worked with the Secret Service, was a Secret Service person for many, many years. And he's very opinionated. And so, he's part of that whole crowd that thought something bad might happen to President Trump. It did. He's part of that crowd that thought President Biden would drop out. He did. This is where we are. So it's Sunday night. The markets are open. Your money is moving. I have some good news for you when it comes to markets. We have a lot of things to talk about. I'm flying solo, so please be patient. First thing I ask you to do, if you have questions, throw them my way. I'm not scared to talk politics. Probably not everyone's favorite thing they want to hear, but I'm not afraid to talk it. Two, if you're out there, gladly, we got an election coming up. Election's coming up in 107 days. That's a big deal. So a lot of things happening there. So election 107 days. We have we just got through the Republican convention. We have Democratic convention, August 19th through 22nd. So way we're going to do this tonight is we're going to look at markets. That's what's most important. That's probably why you're here. If you're out there and you're watching this, you want to tell a friend before we get really warmed up. I might have some co-hosts join in, might have a few co-workers call in, although they might all be out on boats and lakes and at doing whatever they're doing. It is summer. It's fair time. If you're part of the fairs, we have Porter County Fair going on right now. Always fun. So let me check these markets real quick. I just getting filled on some stuff pretty crazy here as we get going. I think you're going to like the way the markets are. Nothing bad happening here. But with that, so news over the weekend. Actually, when we went home on Friday, premium content was with Don Wick. We talked about Don Wick and I talked about the markets and the week market, and Don Wick and I talked a lot about what Sunday night could look like if President Biden dropped out. Now that actually happened. So it's funny because Don Wick's come a long way in the sense that 4 weeks ago we're like, "Do you really think it'll be Biden and Trump?" And he's like, "I absolutely think it'll be Biden and Trump." Then we talked a week ago and we're like, you know what? Trump was a quarter inch away from there would be no candidate Trump, but that's changed because we've moved on, right? So then we talked about things like what's the debate going to look like? Well, I don't know how many more of these we're going to have for the election because it's looking interesting. But I learned a lot today watching the news on just how this is going to go down. A couple really important things is that there is a pile of cash, close to $100 million in the Biden-Harris campaign, and so also that the Democrats have to get incredibly organized here before they go to their convention here in Chicago. So let's get back to what we do markets. And when we do markets, we like to talk grains. We have some good news. So normally I have Joe here to help me, Rick, Connor, Brady, flying solo. But I got to tell you, the more media I do, the more comfortable I get doing this. Used to doing live TV. Now we do live TV nationally. This is really incredibly comfortable. I'm at my own home. I have all the comforts you could ever imagine here. So with that, let's take it to LaSalle Street. All right, everyone, thanks for joining. You are part of ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. Let's look at these markets. That's what you want to do. All right, LaSalle Street it is, boys and girls. Happy Sunday night. Tommy Grisafi, Advanced Trading. Dees corn up 4 cents. Set beans up 11 and a quarter. No beans up 11 and a quarter. Meal up 30. Oil up 14 ticks. Wheat, Border Trade wheat, not doing too bad. Border Trade wheat up 7. Casey wheat up 5. Hard red spring up 7. Cattle, live cattle, feeder cattle, hogs, all close tonight. They do not trade on the night market. Just real quick as we get going here, I just want to make sure that I am streaming. If you're out there, drop a comment. If you can see me, you can hear me. I see we got a good crowd out there. Just checking my own iPhone here. It looks like me watching me. Yes, we are out there. Wonderful. Thanks for joining this Sunday night. Couple a couple questions I have for you. And I got let's see here who's saying so. Up, Joe G, my brother. He says thumbs up. All right. I don't know why he's not on here. It's weak. He didn't join. That's okay. It's uh-oh. I got more comments. Uh-oh, Brady Huck sounding good. All right, all right. Look at that. We're rolling. We're rolling. All right, LaSalle Street. All good news up real well over there. Like to hear that. Um, let me get this shut off over here. Brady Huck sounds good. Brady Huck's at the fair with his kids, and that's exactly where he should be. Never miss a chance to spend a little time with the family. Okay, next place we need to go, Wall Street. How's your money doing? Gold up $10, silver up 20 cents. Take it to interest rate land, twos, fives, tens, 30s. Bond markets are up. That means yields are down a little. Crude oil up 42 cents. That one kind of surprised me. I thought that might be a little lower, but the markets don't really care what Tom Grisafi thought. Natural gas creeping back up. That was under the 2 level. Seems extremely affordable. Not so sure anymore how natural gas ties in with fertilizer, but we need to really start thinking about fertilizer if we're going to be a farmer next year. Natural gas up 23. Dow Jones up 60. NASDAQ up 60. S&P up 12 handles. Bitcoin up Bitcoin up a little bit here. Let me just 1 second there. Bitcoin up 700. Copper up 160. So we've been to LaSalle Street. We've been to Wall Street. And we got some people commenting in. Okay. Do you like watching this channel? Are you interested in watching this channel? Do you ever miss a show? We need your help. We're asking for your help. Go to YouTube, Advanced Trading. Click like, subscribe, tell a friend. We're live streaming. We're going to be here for a good 20, 30 minutes, and we might go join another live stream. If you ever miss us, there's ways to view these shows recorded. Let me show you how to do that. This is my wife, Gina Grisafi, telling you how to join the live stream or watch the recording live stream.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to watch more episodes, you can find us on YouTube, Acres TV, or you can listen to us on Apple or Spotify.
Well, there it is. YouTube, Acres TV, Apple, and Spotify. Well, interesting that is, because we're going to head out and go see the good folks at Acres TV this week. Will you be out there? Yes or no? I'd love to know. I'm going to go out to just a little north of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with the good folks from Hefty. I'm partnered with them. I chose to partner with them, and they've chose to partner with us. It's a great relationship. And just like I had told you, I've never heard of Rumble up till 6 months ago. I wasn't quite sure what was going on over at Acres TV, but I'm now a big fan, and I think you should be too. Real quick, Acres TV is just loaded with stuff on ag, and it's free. I mean, you just go on there and it's free. All right, let's get into the star of the show tonight, right? Let's bring it in. We got some new stuff happening here. Things changed here this afternoon, bigly, and we'll see what happens here. Let me blow this up. This app is amazing. Predicted is probably been a little busier than the CME group here for sure. Kamala Harris, 82-cent bid, 29 up 29 cents. Hillary down 4 cents. Michelle Obama up a penny. Gretchen Whitmore 4 cents. Gavin Newsom, surprised he's not doing better. J.B. Pritzker, Illinois governor, and Josh Shapiro. All right, that's who we're looking at for the Democratic. What's going on? The Democratic nominee for president. Now there are still more people on there. This is wild to see. President Joe Biden deserves that respect. 52-year career politician, 82 years old, I believe. 1 cent bid, down 31 cents. What a change of events. And they talked about it all last week, that Sunday would be the announcement. But I guess you just don't believe it till you see it. What's that look like in a 24-hour chart? If you want to see what that looks like, you can go here and say Harris. We can go, we'll just hit Harris and Biden and see what that looks like here and get rid of the other things. But just like a market, Kamala Harris's bid President Joe Biden, no, but I mean, I don't even know why it's worth a cent. He says he's not running. He's not running. So that's predicted. Now, when you look at other races here, this is interesting because Donald Trump is favored 60 cents versus 40 cents. Does this mean anything? I don't know. Not really in some ways because so much can change. So much can change. Full disclosure. Speaking of disclosure, we need to run those. There you go. Full disclosure. Um, when 2016 election, Hillary Clinton was leading President Trump 98% to 2%, and he won. So it's fun to watch. It's interesting. It affects our lives. It affects markets. There's a lot of wild things are going to happen. I have a whole list of things we need to talk about. A client texted me before I started, and that you guys are the best. I mean, advanced trading clients, friends of ATI Pro Media premium clients. But you guys always get me thinking. Someone texted me, and I'll read it. I don't know if this will shock you or if you're going to take this, uh, if this will shock you or not. But someone said, if I'm China and seriously considering invading Taiwan, now is my window. A weak lame duck president, which is sad to say, but President Joe Biden now would be a weak lame duck president, and you're who you're dealing with for the next 4 years is tough. He's assuming President Trump wins. Okay. Another question we had from a coworker: if Trump wins, who do they want for ag secretary? And I would probably think something like that would go to Doug Burgum out of North Dakota, or someone who's strong in the ag sector. Um, my friend Don Wick asked what the markets are doing, and I'm going to tell him markets are up. Real quick, how are your crops? That's what we do here, mostly corn, wheat, and beans. If you look at all the contracts we trade at Advanced Trading, we trade a ton of corn. We do other stuff too. We do beans, wheat, cattle, LRP. But for the most part, if you look at what we do, we trade a lot of corn, and corn kind of rules the world, right? So the corn market goes, everything else goes. Couple things farmers kind of have going for them right now. I'm going to read just this. A couple things right here. Commitment a trader. Funds are record short beans, near record short corn. So beans are currently up 10, 11 cents. They're record short corn. So we could, if something happened with the weather or something else, we could have a possible powder keg here. That's what you guys want to hear, right? You guys want to hear. I watched the live stream and Tommy said corn could go up. Well, corn can do whatever the heck it wants. Presidential candidates can do whatever they want, but the funds are short. We do have a rate cut coming. Oil, I forgot about this. So much happened. Thank you, Nate Mangold, for telling me this. Oil, Israel struck a Yemen controlled port after being attacked by a drone. I forgot about that. I was wondering earlier when I warmed up and I told you oil was up, and I shocked. Well, of course, I'm not shocked now why oil is up. Okay, if you can remember all the way back to Friday, we had CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is a company that's you know who the heck, you didn't know what CrowdStrike was till Friday, but you do now if you couldn't do banking or get on a flight or anything else. But they say 8.5 million computers were affected by CrowdStrike. It doesn't surprise me a bit. I believe you. Okay, with that, we got weather here, and looks like weather could be starting to add a little stress to the crops, which is kind of normal for this time of year. We're going to have harvest finishing up in the Midwest for wheat. We're going to have harvest starting up in the Dakotas in the next 2 to 3 weeks here pretty soon. And that's that. So we got some things happening here with weather, all types of charts showing up. How is the weather in your area? We have Cale Carlson texted in. Kale, if you don't know Kale, he's on the interweb. You probably know Kale. He said we got a rain again in the West. Crops look fantastic. Kale is a ATI Pro Media contributor, and he's out there in Western Nebraska. So lots of things happening here. I do see a youngster who just got back from the fair. Brady Huck said he couldn't take much more of those kids, and he's going to come show real quick. Let's see. We got some comments and questions. This is interesting. We'll get to this one in a little bit. It's an NVIDIA question. Let's see. Ashley bringing you the real markets. That's funny. Yeah, absolutely. Wins the war. There's some funny stuff going on here. Well, China. yeah, that's interesting. Some really great questions. We can go through them. To say that this is the to say this is going to be volatile. Let's go over a couple facts as Brady Huck's getting warmed up to join on. Brady, I really appreciate it. It's a little tough doing this by myself. You ready to come in, kiddo? Thumbs up. He's ready. Check your mic. Tap that mic, kid. Let's bring him in the show. If you guys don't know who Brady Huck is, let me give you a little warmer for him. He's the man here, right here.
Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas. Contributor, ATI Pro Media.
What's up, girlfriend?
Hey, Tommy, how's it going? We need to get the fog machines rolling. Introduce us all.
Oh, baby. What?
We
Brady Huck.
never play yours, Tommy G. We need to play your intro roll
I
sometime
look like a
too.
plus size model in that one. We're gonna delete that.
We've
That
all
was
aged a little bit or something. I don't
that
know.
was
Yeah.
before 20 doses of Ozempic, right? Now listen, a couple weeks ago we did that
Oh gosh.
broadcast the Ozempic of marketing. Boy, am I glad to see you. Just like that time we called you from RFD TV studios, and you're like, man, was I glad to hear your voice. Tough playing it solo. Speaking of playing it solo,
Yeah, yeah.
Dan Bongino just
How does he do that all the time?
I don't know,
250,000 impromptu
250,
viewers. Crazy.
250,000 people. We have 265 watching right now, and I think it's always interesting to see where they're coming from. A lot of it's from Twitter and advanced trading, YouTube, and whatnot. But always interesting. Yeah, the world's changing. I'm a little part of media. You're a little part of media. We've gotten to experience what it's like, right? To go live and do a live stream. I've gotten to experience what it's like to do live TV. I get interviewed all the time, but a lot of times, Brady, those are recorded, and that's easy.
It's
I mean, you
different,
can,
right? I mean,
yeah, you
just a
can mess
different
up.
feel, different tone. You get a redo. You get to, it's kind of scripted to some extent, somewhat, right?
Yeah, yeah. When you do national TV and they say don't swear, they mean it. Like, don't swear. You could, but it's seriously frowned upon. And on this, you could say whatever you want. But I just think there's, you either gotta be a wild man and be you got to be one or the other. You just can't. This is a family show, for God's sake. All right, we got all types of stuff to talk about here. How was the fair? Tell us about the fair as I get a couple things here loaded
It was
up.
good. County Fair, Ford County Fair here this week. It's actually been a beautiful week for the fair. Normally, you can count on about 120-degree heat index when you got the fair going on, but we've had nice weather and good number of attendees out there. It was good to go check it out and be a supporter sponsor for those kids and the projects. It's an important piece of rural communities, so always want to go out there and check that out. I got a bike wreck I'm dealing with here. My son is riding his bike outside, and he's got some major damage going on here. But
you need to take care of that. Go ahead and take
I
care
might
of that.
take care of that real quick and jump back in.
I'm going to remove you. It happens to the best of them. Can you take a pic and then show it, please? I don't want to break any HIPAA laws, but when you come back, all right, Brady's gone. Now, doggone it, that's a family guy. I got a bike wreck I'm taking care of. Well, we got a train wreck here when it comes to politics. Let's take it from the beginning. What I learned. I don't know how much you know or remember about this or how old you are. I'm 52, so I sure don't remember when LBJ resigned. But LBJ resigned January 20th, 1969. I believe Richard Nixon then became president. Something happened with him, something about water or something. I don't know. Maybe you guys can hit me up on that. What's interesting about when LBJ resigned is that the Democratic National Convention was in a little city called Chicago, right? And just to let you all know how much I love Chicago, I got a little song about it. But Chicago, just incredible time, because the irony, or what's interesting, is that this time the convention is going to be in Chicago, and those are August 19th through 20th. One of my favorite songs, I'm sure yours too. All right, Sweet Home Chicago. Well, that's what we have. History repeating itself. LBJ many years ago cashed in his chips, and then we had the Democratic National Convention. I believe it was the first Mayor Daley, and I think it was interesting time. When you talk about trading and markets and price being discovered, that's what the CME Group does. Now, the CME Group's not paying me to tell you this, but I have to tell you that price is being discovered in what's going on here in politics. I mean, when you can see something like Predict It be 82-cent bid for Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, that's just fascinating. A couple things to think about here. You got to follow the money. Like President Joe Biden said he wasn't going to stop running, and then all of a sudden, it's amazing when the donors stop donating to you, how his plans and the donors' plans really change. So the money, controls a lot of things. Also, I want to talk about a little irony. This is interesting. I'm pretty confident President Joe Biden is not a big fan of Elon Musk. I think you can find several times he's bashed him. He almost never says the word Tesla. Does this matter? The guy's about done in a few months. Yeah, it kind of does. Because President Joe Biden, after being in politics for 52 years, where did he announce that he wasn't running for president? X. Do you find that interesting? I think B. Huck's back there, but we'll bring him back on here in a second when I get done with this rant. Questions, comments. We're going to be on here for a while. We got some gifts to give away. We got about 315 people watching. Tell a friend about this live stream right now. Retweet it, tweet it, forward it to a friend. This is free. We do this for you, and it keeps me sharp on my toes. All right, Brady Huck's back. Brady, you good to go? All right, tell us what happened.
We're good to go. We had we got some
Full screen.
sweet jumps we were dealing with out there on the bike path for the 9-year-old and the 6-year-old, and I guess we got a little crossways on one of them and had some road rash on our belly.
Oh,
we had to deal with.
Play those kids a video of Evel Knievel. All right.
Yeah.
If you're old enough to know, you know. If you know who Evel Knievel is, drop us a note. Yeah. All right. Folks are here probably for the markets. I sure as heck shouldn't be talking politics, but this guy, President Biden, drops out thanks to Rick for doing that. Will we have any of this guy? 1 week ago, we were talking about how we were amazed that President Trump was alive, right? And now, is it possible that President Trump will be debating Kamala Harris? Now, I don't know if you remember, but I watched a lot of news. I could be the luckiest guy in the world. The whole family, the goal today was to clean the garage. Gina, the kids, we had help. And then this news broke. I said, man, this is something else. I got to go in the house and get out.
Convenient, Tommy. That's just too handy for you. Those garage clean days, though,
we'll be here all week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got
can change,
out.
Though.
Well,
things can change in a week here, right? I mean, big news a week ago, and now we got more big news here. And I think, a couple months ago, Tommy, you were talking about it. I even can say you kind of called this to an extent that the two guys we thought were going to be running for president in November, we may not be the same people.
No,
a couple months ago.
A long time ago, and we have a million tapes of it and YouTube shorts and everything else. I just, in my gut, didn't feel like it would be Biden against Trump. And it didn't surprise me what happened to President Trump. It wouldn't surprise me to happen to anyone. Anyone could just, you see it happen all the time.
All over the place.
Yeah, just bad things happen, right? Car accidents, when Princess Di died, didn't surprise me, right? She's going 110 miles an hour to get away from someone. These high-profile people, constantly bad things happen to them, right? So it's just part of the deal, right? They're usually flying a lot. They're active. They're going fast. It's just life in the fast lane, if you remember the song. Well, no one rolls as hard, I don't think, as President Trump has, and things can go bad. And we wish anyone in politics safety. Life's hard enough, let alone to have to deal with that. But I was confident, and I had asked Don Wick over and over and over. I'm like, I don't think it's going to be President Trump against Biden. He's like, at this point, it's going to be. And that was just 3-4 weeks ago. Don Wick does our ATI Pro Media Premium. He's usually our Friday or Saturday edition. And he's like, no, those are our candidates. I'm like, all right. And well, then all of a sudden the failed assassination attempt. And then this happened. They say, Brady, and I did really consume a lot of news. So a lot of what I have written down on my sheet wasn't like I'm just rolling off the top of my head. I actually took notes, which is funny because you're like, you'd never do that for the day show. But I didn't want to be disorganized. But on June 27th was the debate, and that was the end of President Biden right there. He did so poorly in the debate that when CNN and other networks turned against him, that was it. It was game over, and the market started to recognize that you'd seen some big move in Bitcoin, seen some
Hmm.
move in the bond markets. We're seeing all types of moves, and when I look at my quote screen right now, I can actually show it to y'all if you want to see it. Every single market I look at is every single market I look at is green, and I just find that I'll show you this. It's not a secret how I look at my quote board. That's the ATI Pro Media quote board. Look at that, folks. If you're out there in ag land, that's a doggone looking board. Will we be there in the morning? I don't know. Um, Corn, soybeans, meal, oil, wheat, KC, hard red spring, all up. Cattle and them closed real quick on cattle. Just a little reminder. B Huck did a special on that. We'll get to that in a little bit. Gold, silver. It says 10 years down a tick, whatever, the 2 year, someone
Hmm.
had to be read. The stock market, this is, again, we had some bad days, but we're starting to get approach record highs. We're a few percent off it. Bitcoin's volatile, and copper's doing copper things. Some people, Brady, say we're going to recession. Some people say we're not. I don't know. I don't know what to think. When you, okay, 1 week ago today, we are talking about where were you when you heard that about the assassination? Where were you when you heard that President Joe Biden was not running for election? Were you at the fair?
Yeah. I was,
Oh,
yeah, getting ready to go to the fair, chasing my kids around was kind of what I was doing. But yeah, it's hit me. You we talk about this going into these weekends. These 3 day, these weekend, Saturday, Sunday,
mm-hmm,
a lot of news cycle, weather, things change, headlines pop out, and it's interesting that it drops. 1 o'clock on a Sunday Central Time, that headline drops, and to be just 8 days after the assassination attempt at Trump and just all the things going on. It just politics are politics, but I don't know, Tommy. The market looked like it was pricing in some tariffs and some Trump type presidency, and it is a little bit of green on the screen here, liking that maybe we got more contested type of an election, and we'll see. We'll see how things change. Things are going to change over the next day. In 10 months, 8 months, 10 months, we're going to be in
mm-hmm.
a different world, Tommy.
Yeah, 107 days till the election, and then the inauguration is a few months after that. We're at 60. So yeah, 160, 170 days. It's
Mhm.
funny you mentioned that because I was going to buy a new pickup truck and I didn't like how the negotiating was going. So I said, you know what? I don't wanna buy it. Then the car dealership called back and they magically, I don't know how they do this, but they magically lowered the price of the pickup
Just out of the blue, they
$5,000. Yeah, just like,
can't believe I
uh
didn't think of this earlier, Tommy. But we
yeah.
found a way to trim the
Yeah, yeah,
value
yeah.
back.
So, do we screw them? And how the car lot called back and I said, "You know what? There's a lot of uncertainty going on with this election." This was on, Saturday.
Mhm.
And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to wait till after the election because the 25s will be out."
Yeah.
And a lot of people say we're going into recession. I hear interest rates are going to go down a couple quarter percent. Uh, and I just said, I'm going to wait. And I wonder
Mhm.
how many other people are waiting to make a major purchase, do a renovation. Obviously, if you need to move, maybe you wouldn't buy a house. I had a friend over who's desperately trying to buy a house in Nashville, and they're really expensive. And so this
Mhm.
couple's thinking about renting, but there's a lot of things going on with this election. Someone who probably wasn't overly excited to hear this news, maybe Zelensky wasn't too happy to hear about what's going on. Also, without really getting deep diving in the politics, many people, these are the insiders, they say a deal would be cut. So, Mr. President, we need you to step down, but you'll be taken care of. This person will be taken care of.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people who could be taken care of on the way out.
Yeah.
Ironically, and this is, I don't know why this is so funny to me, but do you know what today is, Brady?
No. What's today, Tommy?
National Ice Cream Day.
Oh,
And nobody likes an ice cream cone better than President Joe Biden. He is famous for eating ice cream. And yeah, that's
and
just,
on Nash, that's when he steps down as president, the top
after
position in the
52
country.
years, and it's got to be planned after 52 years in politics. If you love ice cream, you're going to step down on National
If
Ice
there's
Cream
a
Day.
day I'm going to do it, Tommy, it's going to be
Yeah.
National Ice Cream Day. That
But
was
the
going.
biggest irony of the day, in my opinion, Brady, is the
Mhm.
fact he stepped down and uh, White House staffers said they knew 30 seconds before they read it on X. They were literally sent an email that the
Yeah.
president was not going to run, and they're like, "What?" And before they could even leak it out, which no matter how much they say they're not going to leak it out, they can't help themselves. They leak it out. Um,
I,
it came out, and so it was released on X. Which, go ahead.
yeah. I don't know. I like the conspiracy theories a little bit and the
Hmm.
global elite pulling the strings behind the scenes. I kind of believe a little bit of that stuff, maybe too much, but I don't know. I think some of it's all a facade, so I don't buy that. I think they maybe didn't know he was going to step down, but I think the
They,
discussions of how and what
oh
and
no, right?
why,
That
all that.
earlier last week said it'll come at Sunday afternoon. It was known going home
Hmm.
the day if it's going to happen Sunday. Now I do understand why it had to happen quickly. With the Democratic National Convention August 19th through 22nd in Chicago, they need time to get organized.
Hmm.
Within a few hours of President Joe Biden announcing this, Kamala Harris filed paperwork officially running for president, and it's a very it's like a
All
legal
the hoops
process.
that
Yeah,
we got
you
to
think?
jump through to make
Yeah,
it happen and go through all the rigmarole to actually do it, right?
yeah. But we're going back all the way since last time this happened was 1969, January 20th, 1969.
Mm.
LBJ uh, backed off here and did what he did. So, and it's been a long time. I've never seen so much chaos. I mean, you think last Saturday's events added chaos. This
Yeah.
really threw one. Also, when you look at endorsements, Kamala Harris has not been endorsed by President Barack Obama.
Okay. Yeah.
Fox News, and I quote, Fox News said, the number one uh, smartest Democrat out there right now is President Obama. There is no one who's better connected. 8-year president.
Mhm.
Just he just
He went out
he
on top, right? I mean, he went out king of
yeah.
all kings, right?
Yep, came in, stock markets were on the low, left, there, it's you're in president for 8 years, they're gonna be able to say something about you, but,
Mhm.
yeah, it was interesting. So you've seen him very active. Then, of course, Fox News showed the clip of President Biden just standing there and Barack Obama putting his arm around him, pretty much escorting him off the stage. A lot of things went wrong the last few weeks when it comes to just basic speaking or remembering who
Yeah.
was who in the administration, and we all mess up our lines, but it went a little too far. The whole COVID thing's a little mystery. Like all of a sudden he's got COVID
COVID.
again. I mean,
Yeah.
what's going on here? So that was interesting. That was kind of, I think, when that happened, and then he went away. They're like, it's over. So yes, people knew, but it came out on X, and that's how we get our news these days. It wasn't out on Bloomberg. It wasn't out on
Mhm.
Reuters. It came out on X, and then all the other media channels all over the world picked it up.
Like 20 minutes before most mainstream channels had it, it was on X, right? I mean, is
Mhm. Yep,
we're
my
getting
phone
recorded.
dinged, and it was, Zero Hedge retweeting the president, so
Mhm.
I don't follow President Biden necessarily for alerts, I follow Zero Hedge, and then my phone dinged, I was actually helping the garage, and,
Like,
grateful I was able to
that
get
was
out of
it.
that project, but,
Dropped the broom and ran away, right?
it
"Gotta go,
lit
honey."
it literally looked like that. I said, "I'll be right back, uh, and, we'll get back." Alright, we got a whole bunch of questions.
'Kay.
Let's just let our folks know, though, who, we got some new joiners here real quick. What's going on in markets? This is probably the easiest way for me to show them here is that the markets are all up.
Mhm.
Grains are up nicely. China opens here in 10 minutes. That'll be interesting.
Okay.
Gold, silver, everything's up. I mean, this is a good looking board. America's uh, prices of stuff are inflating. Things are good here. Oh, here we go. We're getting corrected, but that's good. I need a little correcting. LBJ announced in March he wasn't running. Big surprise. Only had one primary at a time. This is different,
Okay.
like a coup almost. And yeah, that's Dave Fogel's coaching me from home. So he's Googling stuff while we're doing it,
Different
which is funny
level.
because, like, how would we know any of this stuff? And so as it
Mhm.
happens, yeah, it's just wild. So many people. I will say this: we are blessed to live in a country where we could talk openly like this. We're fortunate. We work with a company that lets us talk about politics. I don't see how we couldn't talk about politics. It's affecting all these markets, and if it's affecting these markets, it's affecting your money. If you're a
Mhm.
farmer, a rancher, an investor, anyone involved in any way, politics are going to affect things. The Ukraine war affected things, and the side effect from the Ukraine war, the whole world overproducing affected things. I'm going to talk about that when I go out to Ag PhD there in South Dakota this week. On our very low prices we have now are very much from the Ukraine war. A lot of things are going to change here, and you try to think of uh, a couple things they said. uh, a couple of things they said on TV that was interesting was they'll try to say Kamala Harris has totally different views than President Joe Biden, but she was in charge of the border, and that got way worse. Matter of fact, the picture President Trump was looking at that
Mhm.
he turned that he said saved his life was actually the picture of the border, the
The
least amount of
immigration stuff and all the stats that right? Yeah.
crazy stuff. All right, real quick before we get into questions, those are the markets. We got Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas, fresh home from the fair. Got a kid, Evil Knievel, hurt himself, but
That
we're all
dude's
fixed.
wild on the bike. You gotta watch out for him.
We're
Yeah,
talking a
he's
little politics. We're talking a little markets, hoping for 500 people to join. We're at 380, B Huck. What's our record? That day, Connor and I were at RFD TV. You were in Dodge City. What's our record for people?
that
1,200, 1,500 that day?
that report was, yeah, 13, 1,400 on that report. That was a big one. The Sunday
Yeah.
night stream record, I think, was 800 or so. That one of the
Yeah,
first
well,
couple
the
times. It
time
just
that was
kept
on the
cranking.
cattle, the time the cattle went limit down, I think we rocked it too.
Okay.
It's a different
Well,
world, and then
it's
one man's floor is another man's ceiling. Dan Bongino, emergency press conference, hits the button, sends it to all the streams, and he was laughing. He actually laughed at himself. You know what
re
he said? I was kind of proud of him. He said, "I don't know if anyone in the world has more people watching someone than me right now,
Mhm.
because Fox News or CNN or something may be on all these TVs, but that doesn't mean someone's watching it. And so to
Right.
watch him, you have to click a button, go
You're
to an
going there.
app, hit his channel. It's not
Mm.
just a TV on at an airport that someone walked by that's on mute. And so that's interesting. All right, if you're out there,
Mm.
America, we love you. You want a free flag? Give us a call, email us. We'll send one out. We'll give away a couple flags tonight. 1-855-737-FARM or emails info@ATI Pro Media. Having fun talking markets. One problem here, I learned something on Friday with that. How do I shut this off? There we go. Remember, Connor said, we had that crowd. What's it called? Crowd strike, or
Yeah,
who was?
yeah, it was CrowdStrike. Yeah, the
Yeah, that
glitch.
software company go down, and the grain markets for almost exploded, in the sense that wheat was up 20, corn was up good, beans were up good. And
Mhm.
Connor said, "Tommy, do you think this has anything to do with this?" And I thought about it from some of our emails coming from the corporate office that grain elevators all over America were shut down, and
Okay.
people couldn't access their computers. And the little old computer that works the scale at the elevator,
Yeah,
if we have 2,500 grain elevators in America, you
blue
couldn't get
screen.
a load of grain weighed, and they couldn't print a ticket. And so I went to deposit a check in a bank account. I couldn't. I couldn't deposit it. I'm like, huh,
Mhm.
I wonder if they're going to cover that. And they did, because, we missed a day. If you were going to close on a house on Friday, good chance it might not have happened. If you were
Hmm.
going to fly out of town, there was one person bragging. Southwest Airlines said, we haven't upgraded since Windows 3.1. And I guess it's a true story. Google it.
Really?
Southwest has refused to do some upgrades, and it really paid off for them. But those were
Oh,
the
man.
people who were down for weeks a
That's
few years
hilarious.
ago. So,
I'm in that camp. I don't like to click the auto upgrade button or the auto
yeah.
update. And the IT's the guys that call me, "Hey, we gotta update you. We gotta push this one, Brady,
Well, I
Tommy."
think IT feels vindicated on days like Fridays, because everyone wonders what they do, and
Mm.
do we need all these people? Oh, we
Like,
could have used a few more. Every company could have used a few more. I was not able to access my trading account I probably wasn't able to access it since 2, 3 in the morning, but didn't know that. But
mhm.
when I woke up at 5, tried to log in, couldn't. First time I
What?
could log in was 8:30. Now I will say this, and this is scary. If and that's probably not the last time before the election or after the election that we'll have these little mysterious, everything's down. But
Yeah.
if everything was down and there was something really bad that I don't even want to say the word, because we'll get banned or something. But if something really bad happened in the world while we had one of those glitches, then hundreds of billions of dollars could have been lost, because we could have been locked out of the market,
Mhm.
and price wouldn't have been discovered. So the markets do have a big function, and you don't realize how much the robots took over till they truly take over. All
You
right,
get that
let's talk.
snowball effect, right? And then the confidence of is the tool working or is my software working? Is this work? Can I? And yeah, you get flight to safety right immediately at an important time frame. But yeah,
Yeah.
good point, Tommy.
We're getting a bunch of nice
Yeah,
questions and comments out there. Loving it. But we'll get those at the end. We'll do the uh speed round and we'll go from there. But real quick, I want to talk about let's talk business because you're a cattle guy, you're Dodge City, Kansas. Of course, you sell LRP. Little plug for Brady Huck,
thank
LRP
you, Tommy.
salesman. We got Brady, Tony now. Is it
Kayla on board
Kayla?
now.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
Kayla Walker can offer LRP. Yep.
Yeah, and I tell you what, folks, it might be something you want to get involved with because with news breaking overnight and the futures and options closed, they can write policies up until what time in the morning?
8:25 a.m. And this last
Mhm.
Friday was the first cattle on feed report that we weren't able to write LRP right after the report, which the
Hmm.
report came in somewhat would call supportive. I don't know. It's a less placements than anticipated, but the marketings are still kind of a drag on the thing. There were couple less marketing days in June that weighed on that marketing number, but still a little disappointing on the marketing side of things. So I don't know how supportive that cattle on feed report will be. I think there's so many macro pieces of this puzzle that are going to be a bigger piece of the picture.
Are
Slaughter
those the right
pace.
numbers right there?
That's correct. Yep, that's the average estimate. On feed number July 1 came in at 100.5% of last year. They were looking for 101.2, so that's a supportive number. The placements at 93.2 versus 97% of a year ago, or 97% guess for the average estimate. That's another supportive number. But we got to keep in mind June placements are some of the lightest placements of the year. So the actual animal difference, I think there's 115,000 less animals placed in June, and there was actually 151, maybe 171. Give me a little fudge factor on the numbers there, but there were more
Mhm.
animals lost in the marketing in June than there were in actual placements in June. So when you dive down into some of the little details, maybe it wasn't quite as bullish as those surface level numbers look at. But I don't know. At the end of the day, Tommy, on the feeder calf side of things, a cow calf producer, we're not talking about $1.50 feeders. We're talking about $2.50 feeders. We're, like you said the other day on our live, it was in the special, comparing it to corn prices. Are we $7-8 corn, or are we $3-4 corn in the cattle market? And that's a great comparison. And I think cattle guys need to look at the grain markets and see, these bull markets, they don't last forever. We know the cattle market operates in a cycle type pattern, and we're we're closer to the top of that cycle than we are the bottom side of that
The
cycle.
way I asked you on Premium Friday is if cattle was corn, what price would it be? And your number was, I think you said
Yeah,
about $7.
yeah, $7-8. We're at the
Mhm.
upper echelon of that price paradigm where we've been.
Yeah. That was right there. Well, not the wheat market strategy. That was a different day, but that's you. All right. Brady Huck talking about cattle on feed. Real quick. Tomorrow morning, I don't even know what day it is. It is Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow morning, Monday early, I get up and I record this with Mick. Mick
Okay.
does weather for us. Always good. He'll break down what happened across the country. We'll get that out to premium subscribers. Mick's been coming in on Mondays and Fridays super early and doing that. We call him and he gives us a little weather report. As far as weather in the grain markets, corn, we got to be getting about halfway through pollination. It is the county fair here in Porter County, Indiana. Who's going to be here tomorrow is Nelly. Nelly's playing tomorrow here in Porter County. He's going to have a packed show. I've seen Nelly before. He's really good. Kids went to a concert Friday night. They had a great time. Fair times are. If I had more time tonight, I'd leave here and go get some sweet corn and go to the fair. But I'm about ready for
Yeah.
bed. We'll hit it tomorrow. But we'll be traveling this week. I need you in. You are Brady. I was going to say you and Brady and Connor. I might not do a few of the shows this week.
Okay.
It's just not much fun doing from the road Wednesday.
Yeah.
I can go live Thursday from Ag PhD. That'll be interesting. Real excited to go there.
Yeah.
Mick says weather's going to be good. 7,000 to 10,000 people at a
Wow.
one-day event, and they're in the bushel business. Those boys are
Tell me about
definitely.
that's on Thursday, Friday. What do you know about the event? You're talking in the morning, aren't you? On one
Yeah,
of those
let me
days?
pull it up. Yeah, let me
Okay.
pull it up. Ag PhD. Uh, the event it's just a one-day deal. It's
Okay.
Yeah, let me pull it up. All righty here. Look at this old share screen here.
Tommy G
Thank
said
God I don't keep nothing.
fancy
I keep
text.
nothing but the good stuff on this computer. All right, Ag PhD Field Day, Thursday, July 25th. They have all types of goodies there. I think I'm speaking super early in the morning. Matter of fact, I know Brian
Okay.
and Darren Hefty's farm. There's no doubt they're in the bushel business. They're always doing shows
Yeah.
about how to grow more bushels. We are associated with them. This part right here, the
I'll,
Acres TV. Yes, sir.
okay. I'll be interested to hear, what you feel for farmer sentiment. I mean, we talk to farmers, all our customers, every day, but as a whole, and other people maybe that we're not talking to every day out there, what's the sentiment out there, at that field day with the crop size and the growing degree days? How's their crop looking? Feels like it's a little quiet out there. I don't know that we got
Yeah.
a good crop on our hands.
July 25th, 3 days, 10 hours, 56 minutes. We are 107 days away from the election, but we'll be out there. One thing I do know, let's see what happens if you hit watch. Yeah, this is this. I mean,
Okay.
these guys understand media. They are
Yeah.
top in their game in media. I'm just real proud that ATI Pro Media is associated with them. And the way
Yep.
I explain Acres TV, they're like the Netflix of ag. I mean, you
Yeah.
can just I wonder if they show uh all the people that are, on this. But this is all the places you can find Acres TV, your iPhone, Fire Stick, Roku, Android, and then you have all the people. Well, God doggone it. If we're going to plug them, let's just keep doing it. Look at the names on here: 360 Yield, ADS, Ag PhD, Ag Agri Liquid, CMB. I think we're up here somewhere. Live to Farm. That's a good little show. The Hefty Seed, and there's Shark Farmer. We're up here too. I don't know. I don't see us on this lineup. Maybe they got to
The
redo the site.
homepage there. Yeah.
The old ATI Pro Media is there too, but
Let's
they're
Get
at
Nuts. I've watched a few of those episodes. I like
yeah,
that.
they're Damian
Got a
Mason's
college
good.
classmate Buzzards beat also. She's on here as well. Brandy
Oh, really?
Buzzard. Yeah.
Where?
Brandy Buzzard. She does. I think I
Oh,
can't remember her show, but so this isn't all of
Stream
them that are
Mag.
on.
That one's awesome. That's
Uh,
yeah, the Podfather kind of sounds Italian. I like that. We're on here too, but you gotta trust us. We know we're on there. All right, Ag PhD Thursday. I do believe used equipment prices are falling apart. A client texted me early this morning. Another client called me this morning, and I do take house calls on Sundays. He said, I'm really screwing this up because as we go more through where you have a crop and you only have X amount of space, he's like, I don't have enough sold, I don't have enough protected. What if things get really bad? And we're getting this little break here. Some really great things happening with how short the funds are. We could have a powder cake explosion here. Full disclosure, I said all last week, whether it be Michelle Rook, Scott the Cow Guy, any show I did, U.S. Farm Report, I was on U.S. Farm Report. If you go back this weekend, said it wouldn't surprise me at all to see a 30-cent rally in corn, 40, 50-cent rally in beans, and 40, 50-cent rally in wheat. And with that doesn't really get like a 40-cent rally in wheat puts us at 590 Board of Trade wheat. Don't go doing a cartwheel and buy a new lake house on that. A 30, 40-cent rally in corn puts us at 440 D's corn. That puts us at $4 cash corn. Don't go buying a new piece of equipment on that
mhm.
news. So I do think that can happen.
I mean,
Anything? Yes, sir.
flashes back, to like my mindset in February when, guys were calling saying, what can I do going forward? And these rallies, the short covering rallies, they can be very short lived unless there's a big, unless more dominoes start to fall. And we'll get some dominoes to fall that'll squeeze the shorts and cause them to cover. But boy, if we don't have those dominoes falling and keep falling, they can get right back in those shorts. And they can, I mean, we're setting new record short positions. I mean, I think we just broke the one we set 4 months ago. So I wouldn't test breaking a new record and setting a new record on them sitting there and extending that and making a bigger one. But when you got a carry market and you're in a net short position, keep rolling that position out. You're getting paid. You're improving your position. You can get very comfortable as a fund to be in a net short position unless some sort of catalyst comes and changes the game. And that's what we got to
Right.
watch out for.
And full disclosure, that's a great point, Brady. When I go out and give that speech, at 7 in the morning on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I know that crowd that comes to those early speeches. I know what they want to hear. We're going to go up, and we are going to go up. We're going to explode up. From where I have no clue, right? And what explode up looks like. Yeah, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
explode up from 4 to 425. I mean,
Right.
that's what they want to hear. They want to hear we're going to go up. It's going to be okay. Even though their land's doubled or tripled, that's not good enough. They want to absolutely kill it on the price, which I don't blame them. I mean, I like to make money too.
Yeah.
Couple things. This election, we do not have a farm bill. That's something Don Wick and I
Mhm.
talk about on Premium all the time. We do not have a farm bill, and
It's a big deal.
yeah, it's a real big deal. Now, who will our next ag secretary be? Even if the Democrats did win, Vilsack's getting older. If the Republicans win, we're going to have all types of new faces coming in there, and there's an adjustment policy
Mm-hmm.
with that. That could be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Well, we're going to get in some questions. If you're out there in question land, I got all types of good questions we've been saving. Hit us up, and if we miss us, you can hit us up. What are you drinking there? What is that? Diet Dr. Pepper raspberry?
I like the Dr. Pepper cherry, and I've switched to zero sugar, Tommy.
No, it's
And
good
then,
for you. Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
the other day,
hmm
actually yesterday, I
Full
had
disclosure on the Dr. Pepper, right? I don't know if they're
I had
no,
two
you're advertising.
donuts, two
Oh,
beautiful donuts from Crispy Donuts here in
the
Dodge City,
best,
and then had a
best
zero
donuts. Oh well,
sugar
that
Dr.
you showed them,
Like,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, your A1C levels will be fine. Okay, moving on to markets and flags. If you're out there, we'd love to give a flag. Kind of talked a lot of politics. I've had some complaints. I've had some viewers and listeners complain and say you guys are talking too much politics. What the heck else is there to talk about? How long can you talk about 409
Well,
corn? But anyway, if you're out there and you enjoy the show, give us a call 1-855-737-FARM. Email us info at ATI Pro Media. We'll send you a flag. Always love. If you are also out there, golly, like I've never driven this thing for. I'm used to Joe clicking all the buttons. We'd love for you to subscribe to ATI Pro Media. We're going to tell you about ATI Pro Media. We're at 425 people watching. I want to get up to 500. For that to happen, everyone out there's got to grab this link, send it to a friend, and then we'll get out of here. This is how you subscribe, $1 a day. We're going to have no shortage of stuff to talk about. The next 4 or 5 months of ATA Pro Media is going to be lit, and I hope it's positive for the American farmer. Welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today. Click that button, subscribe to the Advanced Trading YouTube channel, hit us up, subscribe to the Acres TV, ATI Pro Media, and we have some, we put out content that's free, we put out content we charge. On the charging stuff, what do you get? 6 videos a week, actionable text. I was out texting people again today. At the second I heard it, the first people I text was clients and ATI Pro Media subscribers. I don't know, maybe
Tommy, some
some,
of my
yes, sir.
favorite ones that you've had on guests of Premium have been Jesse Allen. He does his regular radio show, but to get him on the other side and be
Yeah.
interviewed by you, I love that.
I
That
got to tell you some
aspect of it
inside
on there.
baseball about that. 2 people,
Good.
Jesse Allen and Don Wick. They've interviewed thousands of people. They don't do interviews.
Uh-huh.
So they've interviewed like the highest of the high. It's not, if you say Don Wick, how many times have you interviewed United States Ag Secretary? 40 times, 50 times. How many times have you talked to the head of this person? 100. How many times have you interviewed Colin Peterson? Hundreds of times. How many times have you been interviewed? He's like, only a few. So in Don Wick's whole career, when he came down to my studio in Mayville, North Dakota, had the cameras and lights, and I'm putting on a little makeup. He's like, I have never felt so uncomfortable in the sense that those guys don't get interviewed. And to your point about Jesse Allen, is the first time we did it, it was awkward. I'm new at this. We're getting better, but I'm new. And he's like, man, I've never, well, not never. Sure, he's been interviewed, but it's 100 to 1. They do 100 interviews and ask the questions versus being asked the questions. And he thought, because he wasn't a marketing guy, that maybe he, how was he qualified to do it? But there's no one more qualified than him, in the sense that he does have AOA, which is all over the place. He does have Market Talk, his podcast. It's like this, where he's always interviewing unique people. But yes, those are some of my favorites, because he's really dialed in. Like last week, he was at the National Corn Growers in DC,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's a real big up and comer in ag media. Very good guy too, very wholesome. If you're out there on Spotify, Google Jesse Allen and Spotify. He's got some good music. Sometimes what
He's
I
a
do,
musician too, isn't he? Right? He does music on as well, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So what I do right before he comes on the show, I usually put on Spotify his songs, and then right when he comes on to the show, I'm usually playing this music, and he's
Oh,
like,
that's
"What
awesome.
is wrong with you?" I'm like, "Actually, a lot of things. If you take a little time to understand what's wrong with me, right?" And so,
Leave it to TG to
oh
put
yeah,
put the guy's own music on as his own in. Yeah, that's good stuff.
oh yeah, it's just too funny. So we always like putting a
Those are
little.
my favorite episodes with him.
All the
Oh,
love
there we go.
and taught to forget. You can't move on like our parents did.
That's Jesse Allen, everyone. All right,
This is
I gotta
Market
get that.
Talk. Jesse
You're only
Allen.
allowed to play a few notes, otherwise we'll
9
hit
seconds, right?
9 seconds. Get them off.
Cut it.
All right. Let's get into the comments, questions. ATI Pro Media, we love being here. So much easier to do with Brady. I think the one thing I can tell you from the first time we ever hit go on this one, we were calling it like, some other show. And the more you do this, the better you get at this.
Yeah.
Like when you said you were going to be at the fair, I'm like, don't worry, I can go a half hour easy by myself.
Yeah.
And we'll just go over the markets, all this stuff I wrote on my list.
Yeah.
Let's go over this list real quick before.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we got 450 people on here. Thanks for watching. But
Thank you.
we got LBJ was the last guy to do this. All right. That Democratic convention was held in Chicago. This Democratic convention is going to be held in Chicago August 19th through 22nd. June 27th was probably the day that things really changed for President Biden. Friday, we had CrowdStrike. That was interesting. This I hadn't talked about yet today on the show. How do you say the guy with the V in his name?
Vivek, is it Ramaswamy? Is that?
Yeah. I like him a lot. He was saying for a year, like out and out, going on the networks and saying President Joe Biden will never be the candidate. This is all just watch. And
Tell
so
us
now
who it is, right? He was saying, tell us who it is. We know you're going to
so
pull him
now
out.
they keep playing that tape of him saying that. That was interesting. The news broke on X. Thoughts on China? Interesting. A client texted me, if someone was going to misbehave, and I hate to say this, there's a really good chance other countries are going to misbehave. If we have all the problems we have going on in the world, whether it be Gaza, Israel. Speaking of Israel, Netanyahu was supposed to meet with President Joe Biden this week, and he still might, but I believe Netanyahu was coming to America to meet with the president. So there's folks coming to America asking for money. There's obviously, Ukraine always is looking for a little, another. Mom, Dad, can I have another 50 billion? So thoughts on China, thoughts on Ukraine. Who gets the money that's in the elect President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala?
The super PACs and all those.
Yeah, I think that the number I heard was 90 million. So $1/10 $1 billion sitting there.
Oh boy, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. The most powerful person right now in the Democratic Party is Barack Obama. Nancy was probably behind this. And there's some other things I wrote down I really can't say because it would just be pushing it too hard politically. So
we don't want to be polarizing, right? We're just kind of, this is the facts. This is what is happening.
Yeah. I mean,
saying,
but
it's
I wish I
impact
could.
our markets. It's going to impact your markets.
Right. I guess what I learned the most on TV was if people are shocked President Biden backed Kamala Harris, how could you not? She was your vice president for 3 3/4 years.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, that was a bad choice. He had no choice, right? And so the real tale, if you're playing a card game, is that Barack Obama didn't endorse anyone. Immediately, Bill Clinton came out and endorsed Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And so everyone's there's a lot of things going to happen between now and Chicago. It's going to be
looks messy though. Gosh, it just looks so messy.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
6 months is 100 days is that's a long time.
They're playing with our pocketbooks, right? They're playing with our pocketbooks. Also, something interesting that a commentator said on the TV, they gave a hockey analogy, and this was really smart. This really got me thinking. The Democrats have a lot of advantages right now because they 100% know what the Republicans have. The Republicans have Trump and Vance, right? Is that
Yeah,
who
yeah,
the vice
JD Vance
president is?
and Trump.
JD
Trump
Vance,
Vance
right?
ticket. Yep.
And so they said it's kind of like when you have a home hockey game that you get last skate. And so the Democrats get the last skate of this game. The Republicans don't know who the Democrats' team is. They don't know who's pitching. That would be the number one thing that could win a baseball game, right? They
Yeah.
don't know who the players are to the game. We, at this point, on Thursday, 7/21/2024 at 8:17 Central Time, have absolutely no clue who is running in the Democratic National Party for president and vice president. We have a good idea who may be running for president in the Democratic National Party. We have no clue who will be vice presidency. So if I go on here, go ahead, sir.
And it's all, it's spin room too. What a Republican could see as a complete disadvantage, messy situation, another can look at it and say, well, this is a complete advantage because they don't know our playbook, our plays, or what angle we're coming at over the next 100 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. Spin room.
Yeah, so that was interesting, extremely interesting. All right, we're getting up there, 471. I sent an email to Advanced Trading Brokers saying, I think we're gonna have 500 people watch. Can I ask you a question, Brady? Do you know who? I'm going to. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
I guess, Tommy. I mean, you put
got in a complete
go ahead.
ass mode over here. Do you know who has two thumbs and had a marketing meeting tonight and had 500 people show up?
Four
This
thumbs,
guy,
these guys.
these guys. Well, it's funny because we didn't have to buy cookies or punch or hand out a bunch of pamphlets or anything else. But we do love agriculture. We do love markets. And, we're so lucky to live in a country. All right, taking it from top, we had breaking news. President Joe Biden has chosen not to run for president in 2024. I'm trying to look over here at Predict It for who the betting on the vice president candidate. And it says Democratic 2024, Harris on Democratic ticket, Harris president, elected winner. I can't.
We're not on the Democratic VP ticket. They haven't got that loaded up yet, have they?
It's a little messy. Democratic president nominee.
There's a lot of stuff on there, but I mean,
oh my God, you have no clue. I have no clue. Yeah, they have to redo this because as of a few hours ago, she was, will she be? Yeah, this needs to, if it's on here, I'm not seeing it. Okay, with that, we had so many questions and comments, and I want to get into them. I'll pull them up, and then we'll share reading them, okay? So
Okay,
you, Joe,
good.
Brady, Nate say it's good. This was interesting. This spring, you were high on NVIDIA. What other stocks are you watching? Or do I lock money up in CDs or fertilizer? All right. Well, thanks, Peter. It wasn't like I've never owned a share of NVIDIA besides what's probably owned in 401ks through just indices. So I wasn't ever smart enough to buy it. Full disclosure. I'm always scared to be long the stock market because I was really long the stock market during 9/11, and that was a horrible feeling. So I haven't been right since 9/11 when you couldn't get out of the markets for 3-4 days. If we experience something like that now, it'd be like a Dow down 10,000 type of event. And that still could happen. Wow. But that 5% CD doesn't sound too bad, right? I don't want to own
how
too many.
Quickly do these interest rates and the rhetoric with a few more rate cuts? How quickly does that get built into your offers with what you can get for money CDs and those shorter term type, 6 month, whatever year, 8 type products? Is that something that as the bond market moves, it changes overnight?
Oh yeah, daily, like what a 30-day T-bill is. But they've calmed down. You can still go out there if you have money, you can still get 5%. That's got to be really interesting here. Looking at these leaderboards, just wild here.
Well,
yeah, I don't
that getting 5% on your money, a year ago, 18 months ago, seemed very attractive and, low risk, defined risk. I guess, what you're going to get parking your money there, maybe better than parking it in a corn bushel or a bushel of beans. But you look at what the stock market's done over the last year, 18 months, and despite the last few days we've had just a roll on the stock market. I'd be curious what we're up over the last year, 18 months on stocks.
Well, as of Friday, the Dow Jones was up like 8%, and a lot of sectors were up a lot more
on the year. Yeah.
The Dow. Remember when we started to see that large divergence where the Dow was going up 200 and the Nasdaq was selling off? The Nasdaq up way more than the Dow? That's a great question. I can't really answer it except for, it depends how you like to sleep at night, what's been working for you. All
Yeah.
right. Ashley just said, bring you the real markets. Well, we always do say we're going to give you today's markets today. I'm sure tomorrow you're going to hear a lot of things we talked about all throughout the day. But being that I've been down at RFD TV and I've hosted a national show, I'm going to go back down there in a few weeks. You feel like you're giving everyone the breaking news, but you're kind of not. And even last week's interview with Tyne Morgan from U.S. Farm Report,
Mm-hmm.
she said that the reason she likes podcasting and Farm Journal Media is doing so much more podcasting is that you see a different side of the host and the guests and stuff. But also, what we're doing, they just can't compete with this. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
every single newscaster would have to have a setup in their home and have discretion to say what they want. And that
Yeah.
discretion to say what you want is what's stopping most people,
But
right? And so
yeah, and I think a lot of viewers don't necessarily understand just the difference between a live stream just like this and a recorded show put out at 5, 6, 7, 8 in the morning, and how that show is built, put together, and presented, and how much later it actually is versus coming out at 9 a.m. live for 20 minutes on what the heck's happening here this morning, overnight, right now, today. There's just a difference of live right now, Sunday,
right, this is
8:23.
yeah, I mean, I could show you how live this is. Like, so we are in our basement, right? And you say, Tommy, how do you get your lights on, right? This is Tommy without a left light, a right light, a back light. And so this is how you put the lipstick on the pig, right? You light that face up,
Yeah.
you got to have the clicker, folks. If you're out there in your live stream, you got to have your stuff hooked up to a clicker. No, we're live. I mean, someone pull the plug. All right, great question. All right, let's see what this is. Wins of war, Chicago wins, blown Dems at war. Well, that's interesting. Always appreciate the comments. Now this one's interesting because this is going to be the hot topics. We're talking about, Kamala could be the first, woman president of this, but this is the stuff that's going to blow your mind right here. Will China, Iran, Russia sit on hands? Those are, America's got serious problems, but these are the problems that should really be scaring the heck out of people. Uh, this one I did see. Luke, I did watch this. How do you say that first name?
Tulsi Gabbard,
You
big
read this.
fan of
I'm
her.
all I'm
Yeah,
I'm
Tulsi
all
Gabbard.
mumble mouth
She
here.
ripped Trump a new one in the 20 primary. She has dominated debate, done really good debate performance, and kind of been critical of the Democrats' process for bringing candidates up to the, how a candidate rises. She feel like she didn't
I
get a fair
think what he's
shot. The
saying
whole
here
deal.
is that Tulsi debated Kamala and
Mhm.
she tore up Kamala in debate, and that's when Kamala really lost all her. I think she polled it. She won 3% of
Back.
the Democratic vote when she was running for president. She ended up being vice president under Joe Biden.
Mhm.
But she came out. She was on vacation and she recorded herself with her phone and said something. Our friend Sean Tucker from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Wait for more crazy news. Wait, I think it means wait for more crazy news tomorrow. Sure, there's more to come next week. Oh, it's not going to stop. Someone posted something. I don't know what it is. It's a link. I better not click on it because that's all IT always says. This is from a friend, a great friend, and he's a neighbor. Flew from Austin, Chicago on United this morning. Delta was canceling flights left and right. Still impact tons on non-match luggage at O'Hare. Still from Friday. Dylan Dalton, yeah, great guys. Taught me so much about markets and banking and whatnot, and always a big supporter of anything I'm doing when it comes to this stuff. All right, so what we talked about tonight
Luke's
was
still
this.
out.
What's that?
Luke's still out there through another one hot off spread. Luke,
Oh,
you're
you got
still
a hot one?
watching. Good to see. Yeah, Brady Huck representing the real
Oh,
gentleman's drink, Dr. Pepper cherry flavor. Thank you, Luke.
oh yeah. No, Brady Huck he don't mess around.
Thank
All right, this is what we're talking about tonight. Kamala Harris is 83-cent bid for who will be the Democratic presidential nomination. I don't know if there's not a button or what. Do you see the button? Who will be the Democratic VP?
I just don't know that we're there. I don't think
I don't
they
see
have
that
enough
button
confidence
yet.
to
I
even
don't think
throw that out there.
yeah, I think they'll be out there in the morning. So maybe I'm not hitting it right. If you're out there, predict it. Yeah, pretty crazy
Tune
here.
in live at 9. We'll have it up there live at 9 if it's
Yeah, and the
available
overall
tomorrow.
picture is this: Donald Trump 61 set, Kamala Harris 40, and then all these other people. Whew.
Now, I'm going to see if I can load Nate Mangold that chart, that
Yeah,
graphic
we
up
got
that he
time.
sent
Oh,
real
the red and
quick.
white one? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'll go full screen, you play around with that real quick. Folks, thanks for watching tonight. We did hit our goal, 506 people watching. I don't know where I came up with that number. I guess as you do this more and more, the nicest thing you could do if you're out there is, even if you don't subscribe to ATI Pro Media Premium, send us an email at info@ATI Pro Media. Tell us what we could do better. We do think we can always improve. Give us a call, 1-855-737-FARM. If you're a true patriot and you love America, we'll send you a flag. We have no problem. Matter of fact, Brady Huck, when we're cleaning the garage, I found a box of flags that Choice Bank from North Dakota had sent me. I did a speech and they said, "How do you want to get paid?" And they sent me a whole case, 2 cases of flags. So
wow.
we got a bunch of flags for our patriots out there. And if you love America, we're going to need one of those. Yeah, a lot of interesting things. Real quick, before we go, we'll bring Brady back in. But bull bear debate, we could do it on every subject. We do a lot of this on the 9 a.m. show. We do a lot of it on the premium. Of course, store and ignore with this. This is just one of my favorite clips of these grain elevators. Store and ignore did not work well with grain here. We are at the downside of what's the end of one of the biggest bull markets ever. Brady Huck, closing thoughts before we get out of here. I could do this all
I got
night.
that. Yeah, I got that
Oh, yeah,
graphic.
yeah.
You hit our goal here. This is a graphic that takes the predicted, prediction of who will win the U.S. presidential election, and Trump, skyrocketing after the debate, and then last weekend with the attempted assassination, but softening up a little bit, and the blue line with now switched to Harris, climbing up to potentially 36%. So just illustration of the sentiment out there based off that predicted poll that we go back and show you guys time and time again. Interesting to look at that graphic. Thanks, Nate Mangold, for putting that together and sharing it with us.
Yeah. Tommy Grisafi, Valparaiso, Indiana. Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas. President Biden drops out of the race. Not exactly what I'd like to hear. I wish it was him against Trump, and we just do it like you like Rocky 1, you got Rocky 2. I mean, this is America, right? So think of that hockey analogy they taught me on TV, that the Republicans have their team out there. There's no switching it now. They printed new shirts. Speaking of printing shirts, these young kids on TikTok are killing it with all these shirts and belt buckles and hats and all this stuff. Every time something happens, they make a new hit.
New graphic tee, new graphic hat coming out.
Yeah. I had a oh, I can't say it. Remember that picture I texted you of the shirt I had for 4th of July?
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Share the love.
Oh my God. Wow, those little kids making shirts they're not just kids, they are the true entrepreneurs, because as fast as the drama happens, there's a new shirt coming out. All right, what we need is you to join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm going to play this one more time. If you've ever missed a show, you ever want to watch a show, this is...
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to watch more episodes, you can find us on YouTube, Acres TV, or you can listen to us on Apple or Spotify.
Boy, we could use some Apple and Spotify ratings. I know those views are going up, but click like, subscribe, listen to the whole episode, drop us a comment there. We're easy to get a hold of, and I hope who fell on the bike? I hope your son's okay.
Cam,
and I hope
he's good.
Yeah.
He'll bounce back.
Give him a Diet Cherry Dr. Pepper. He'll bounce right back. And with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Brady, thanks for joining me. Always easier to do this with 2 people. We kept it tight. We only went a few minutes. Hour and 14 minutes in true Tommy Grisafi style. You got a youngster there? Throw him on the show.
Come here.
Come on, doggone it. Come on. No swearing, kids. No swearing. Look at that little cutie. Look at that.
He's a little carbon copy of his dad.
Oh my God, they broke the mold after that. That is a way to close the show. See you guys. Wave to the camera. Tell them to wave.
Don't wave, Cam.
You tell him I got candy. All right, stay away from the guy in the van.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.